Hi guys, I'm back again, ready to tell you another story. We'll continue our Moses story, but first I have a story about a present for Pam. Here's the picture, you can kind of follow along. And it's about Kenny and his mother and sister were at the store buying stuff. So I will start with the story. Kenny said, "Mother, how much longer will it take?" Most times Kenny liked the dime store, but not today. Today Mother was shopping for his little sister's birthday party. "Just wait a while," Mother laughed. "We will finish soon." Kenny put his hands into his pocket. "Such a fuss for a party." "I'd like pink paper hats," Sister Pam said. "Or maybe yellow or green." "Can't you make up your mind?" said Kenny. Mother looked at her list. "We still have napkins to buy. And we can't forget the balloons and prizes." "Mother," Kenny asked, "do I have to wait here? May I go look at toys?" Mother smiled. "That's a good idea, Kenny." She put 2 quarters in Kenny's hand. "You can choose a gift for Pam," she said. "We will need you to buy the toys in a little while." Kenny hurried over to the toys, but he had never looked at girls' toys before. He saw jump ropes and roller skates. He saw doll clothes and doll dishes, but finding a gift for a girl was not easy. Just then Kenny heard someone crying. He looked around. There stood a girl about Pam's age. "She's fussing about a toy she can't have," Kenny said to himself. Girls were like that. Then he saw something else. The girl looked afraid. What, was she lost? Kenny walked over to her. "I'm Kenny," he said. "What's the matter?" "My name is Joan," she cried. "I can't find my mother." Kenny looked around. "She must be close by," he said. "Don't worry." But Joan kept on crying. "I'll never find her. I'll never find my mother." For a minute, Kenny did not know what to do. He looked for a store clerk, but no one was near to help. Then he remembered something from the Bible. "Don't be afraid," he said. "God is with you." Joan looked surprised. "God is in the church," she said. Kenny pulled out his handkerchief. "Here, dry your eyes. Don't you know that God is everywhere?" Joan sniffed. "But is God here, right here in this store?" "Yes, he is," Kenny cried. "He's with you always." Joan stopped crying. "Then God will help find my mother," she said. Kenny smiled and took Joan's hand. "Your mother will come soon. I'll wait with you, and you can help me find a birthday present for my sister." Together, Kenny and Joan looked at toys for Pam. At last, they picked out a toy broom with a bright red handle. The sales girl was wrapping the broom when a woman came hurrying toward them. "Joan," she cried, "I've been looking everywhere for you. Were you frightened?" Joan hugged her mother happily. "This is Kenny, Mother," she said. "I was afraid, but he helped me to remember that God is always near." Kenny held up the toy broom. "And she helped me too," he laughed. "She helped me find a gift for my sister." As Joan and her mother left, Mother and Pam came to meet Kenny. Pam jumped up and down. We got paper hats and balloons. We bought candles and prizes and candy. Ooh, you guys like candy, right? I hope we didn't keep you waiting long, Mother said. Kenny hid his package behind him. Not too long. Just long enough to find a present for Pam and long enough to help a new friend know that God is always near. Did you know God is always near you? If you're afraid or in a store and you maybe got lost or something like this little girl Joan did, are you remembering that God is with you even in the store when you're lost? Yes, He is. So, do you remember how much money Kenny's mom gave him to spend for a birthday present for Pam? Was it a couple quarters? Nowadays, you probably need more than quarters, don't you? Now, another question is, what did he finally buy her? And who helped him find something? Was it the little girl Joan? She was about his sister's age. And he found a broom with a red handle. That's what he was going to give his sister, Pam. Now, how had Kenny helped Joan? Did he remind her of how God's always with us? And he took her hand so she felt a little more secure. And will you tell God how glad you are that He is always with you? Now, you remember last time we talked about a little baby, and it was Moses. His mommy had put him in the basket because he was afraid soldiers were going to kill him because they were killing all the Hebrew babies. And the mother's sister or daughter, Miriam, she hid in the bushes to see what happened to her little baby brother. But his mommy had to leave. She didn't want to stick around to see what would happen to her little baby. Now, someone is going to find that baby. Miriam looked out from behind the reeds. Remember, she was hiding behind these tall reeds here? Yep. Someone was coming. Miriam looked quickly to see a baby Moses was still hiding in his basket. It was. And it was still floating. His mommy made a very sturdy basket so it would float on the water and he wouldn't drown. Okay? Now, Miriam was not afraid because she knew God was always with her and near her baby brother. But who was coming? Was it the king's daughter, the princess? Miriam watched and held her breath. The princess and her maids. She always had maids come and help her. Were going down to the river, okay? And she happened to see something in the reeds, and she was wondering, what's that in the reeds? So she had asked one of the maids to go look and see what was in the basket. So they went and got the basket, took the lid off the basket, and who was in the basket? A baby was crying. And the princess felt very sorry for the baby. She wanted to keep the baby for her own, but she needed someone to nurse the baby because the baby needed some milk because the baby was thirsty. So she realized it was probably one of the Hebrew children, and the princess liked the baby and she wanted to keep him. And Miriam, remember she was hiding in the bushes, in the reeds there? She came out and she says, would you like me to find, whoops, clumsy me. Would you like me to find someone to take care of the baby and nurse the baby? I can find someone for you. And the princess said, yes, please do find someone to take care of the baby and nurse the baby. So you know what Marion did? She went and got the baby's real mother. And got the real mother to come. So when the princess saw Marion's mother, she said, take this baby and take care of him, and I will pay you for taking care of the baby. Because she didn't know it was her real mother. So Miriam was happy to know that her mother was going to take care of her baby brother, her real baby, and she was getting paid for it too. And when the baby was old enough, she was supposed to bring the baby back to the palace to live with the princess there. So the baby was going to stay safe and was not going to get killed by the soldiers because the princess felt sorry for the baby and she wanted to keep it for her own. We got a little poem that goes with the story, and it goes, Moses, Moses, you are safe in your basket bed. God and Miriam watching you, making sure you're fed. When you're bigger, you'll still need God's kind, loving care, and you will find him just as near, always, everywhere. So remember, God is always near. Even as he took care of this little baby, and she had to bring the baby back when it was weaned from its mother back to the palace, God was still taking care of them all. And the princess named the baby Moses. So the baby now had a name, Moses. Come back next time and we will continue the story and see Moses is going to be raised in the palace with the princess.